Hey you guys, this is Jeremy within the DAW. Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Audified Speak Up plugin. This is a really cool tool if you're doing voiceover work and stuff like that. So without any further delay, let's just jump in and take a look. All right, you guys, welcome back. Now, as you see here, we have Audified Speak Up in front of us, and the first thing you will notice is that this comes with two separate plugins. The first one is the Speak Up Center. This is going to be placed on your voiceover track or whatever you need to cut through. And the second one is the Performer. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. The Performer goes on the music track or whatever you want to duck. Now, as far as the sensor goes, the controls are extremely simple. You have a look ahead function, which will actually delay the signal by that amount of time that you set it to. And that allows the performer to actually have time to react. You are going to have to keep in mind that this is pretty much zero latency. So the way that this works is it literally adds a delay by whatever you set it to. In this case, I have it set to 41.5 milliseconds. The sensitivity knob is just a threshold. You have a force talk, which will automatically activate the attenuation, so you can set the attenuation to be exactly what you want it to be. You have a bypass button, and then you can have the control buses. You have A, B, and A and B. You can also resize the UI up to 200 times or shrink it down by half, and then you can name the track that you have it on. You also have this little wrench which will give you some extra options, but that's pretty much it. It's really simple, really easy. Now, moving on to the Performer, it's a little bit more complicated. And by that, I mean it's barely complicated. You, again, can resize the UI. You can select your presets right here. You have menus, and again, the little wrench tool. You can change this from being a sensor to listening to automation. And this is really cool because you can automate all of these features. You have a bypass button, the control buses, and then you have your fade out time, hold time, and fade in time. Now, as far as the attenuation or ducking controls, you really have 2 or 3 depending on the mode that you're working at. But for my uses, I tend to stick with sensor mode. And for this, you have target attenuation, which is decibels, and frequency attenuation or speech frequency attenuation. And this is essentially just reducing the higher frequencies that the human voice is usually predominant in. And that can be done by up to 20 decibels. This is really cool because it's a different way of doing attenuation. It sounds a little bit more natural than just doing volume automation. And if you combine it with the volume automation, you can get a very smooth and clean sounding voiceover track. So really quickly, I want to show you what I mean by this. I'm going to solo up the music track, and I am going to reduce the target attenuation by 0, set the speech frequency attenuation by 0, and then I'm going to turn them both down to 20 decibels separately so you can hear what they sound like. So here we go. We're going to start off with the target attenuation. And here comes a solo. So as you can hear, that's just volume. Next, we have the speech frequencies. And here comes a solo. And as you can hear from that, that is high and mid frequency content that's being reduced. So that is actually pretty cool because you have 2 different types of ducking that you can use. And you'll notice that even though I have it set to only do the speech frequencies, it actually let the voiceover cut through very, very well. So in this case, I like to set my speech frequencies to doing 10 decibels of gain reduction, and I have my target attenuation to 5 to 6 decibels. And that's because I don't want this to sound very obvious or very abrupt. I just want this to subtly reduce the volume. And for even more subtle cases, I can go all the way down to maybe 3 decibels. In this case, we'll stick to 5. Now, to show you how easy this is and what it does, let's just bypass Speak Up. And I'm going to play 2 little sections right here and right here. Now, this is an excerpt from an actual video that I was paid to do for a client. So because of that, I have to make sure this sounds professional and this sounds really nice. So let me show you what this sounds like without any automation, without any processing whatsoever. And then we'll listen to it with Speak Up. And here comes a solo. Okay, so right off the bat, that doesn't sound very good. Even though the voiceover sounds good, you can't really hear it. Let's try this last one. And let's bypass it. All right, so again, not really cutting through the mix. So now we're going to activate Speak Up, and let's take a listen to what it does. And here comes a solo. Pretty good. Let's try this last one. And let's bypass it. Cool, so much better. Let's listen to this one more time. And here comes a solo. And let's bypass it. And here comes a solo. So much better. Now, like I said, I like to keep this very subtle. In this case, though, 5 decibels is just not enough for me. I'm going to go to 6. So let's take a listen to this last bit to see if that makes it sound even better. And let's bypass it. Yeah, that's perfect. That sounds very nice, and I like how smooth the fade out and fade in times are set. Now, I can set this to be a little bit faster if I wanted to react a little bit quicker, but this is all to taste. For my taste, I really like the way this sounds. Let's listen to it now that I've adjusted it a little bit. And here comes a solo. Really cool and really good. So my initial impressions are, this is actually very useful for people who do voiceovers or people who do videos, especially YouTube style videos, and really, really useful if you're using a non-linear editor or a video editing software that doesn't really handle delay compensation very well. The ability to have a look ahead function is very good, but you are going to have to keep in mind that this is going to delay the signal by that amount. So if you need to make sure that it's syncing exactly with some video, you are going to have to adjust the section of where it is. In a video editing software, that's pretty easy because it has frames and milliseconds, so you will be able to do that, but that is just something to keep in mind. For just a screen capture, it's not a problem at all. Anyway, with all that said, that's going to be it for this part of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a few seconds. All right, you guys, so that is the Audified Speak Up. In my opinion, this is actually a very efficient tool, and it's pretty useful. I like the zero latency workflow, and I really like the ability to reduce only the frequencies that the voice is in. This makes this plugin very, very flexible because I can automate how much actual volume I want, and then how much of the frequency-dependent volume I want. And this can give me the perfect blend to have a very nice and smooth voiceover. And this really helps when you're trying to make sure that your voiceover and music does not clash in any sort of way. So with that said, that's going to be it for this video. This is Jeremy Taylor within the DAW, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.